Welcome, disc golf fans, to the Round 3 coverage of the 2021 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships presented by Grip 6. This commentary this week is brought to you by Mulligans Disc Golf. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here by Nate Perkins. We are back at Mulligans Golf Course today. We have a card of technical players that all shot pretty solid at the fort. What do you think, Nate?
We've got Cale Leiviska, golden child of disc golf, one of the coolest guys on the tour. We've got Mason Ford, one of your favorite technical players out there, Brian. I know you've talked really highly about his deliberate routine.
His angles are very well matched for the fort. We watched him play really well in mixed doubles at the fort. He's been shooting great at that course this tournament, but he's also shown off a lot of distance. I think maybe the step up in stability is allowing his hyzer flip style to really shine out here. But yeah, I'm excited to watch him play out in the open as well.
Yeah, we've got one of my heroes, Nathan Sexton, who's out there. We saw him shoot a 10 under opening round at Mulligans. He's feeling extremely comfortable throwing those power forehands with the Excalibur. Who's our fourth?
Fourth player in our card is Kevin Jones, who,
yes,
you know, obviously out in the open, Kevin is very well suited. He is one of the biggest hyzer throwers in the game. Something I think is really interesting about him is he's one of the steepest hyzer throwers in the game. The angle at which he normally releases a distance shot is so different from a lot of the other players out there on tour, but his speed and his ability to throw with his legs will definitely put him in better position at this course, but really not the longest golf course that we see all year.
No, definitely not. And Kev is leading the tournament in Circle 2 makes so far through the event, so looking forward to seeing him jump putt a few more in.
Let's go take a look. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Front 9 coverage of Round 3 of the 2021 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships presented by Grip 6 Belts. This commentary is brought to you by Mulligans Disc Golf. Brian Earhart joined here by Nate Perkins again. Nate, we are at Mulligans. What did you think about the weather out there today? It did change up quite a bit from what we've been experiencing previously here.
Yeah, significant difference. We had our first system in a few weeks roll in. Temperature dropped 20 degrees. It was wet early in the morning. It started to dry off later. This card teed off at 3:40 p.m., but there was that swirling wind again, except in the reverse this time around. So not the wind that any of these players practiced in. But again, it's Mulligans, it's straightforward, and players are looking to go low. Looking at hole 1, the Flight Factory drone preview, head over to the flightfactorydiscs.com. Par 4, players get to open up on this tee shot right here.
Yeah, OB off to the right, OB bunkers right in front of the basket.
Welcome to the 2021 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships. This is our 340 MPO CHASE card. First on the tee pad, currently sitting at 106 strokes. From Minnesota, I need everybody to put your hands together for Cale Leiviska! Following Cale, also at 106 strokes, from Spring Branch, Texas, let's give a warm Utah welcome to Mason Ford! Also at 106 strokes, from Greenwood, Arkansas, let's put our hands together for Kevin Jones! Rounding out the card, also at 106 strokes, from Olympia, Washington, let's give a big round of applause to Nate Sexton!
This is a fantastic chase card.
All 4 of these players are just 3 strokes off the lead heading into this round.
Cale just playing a very simple start to the round. He is one of the best players at landing his approach shots softly and with the angle of the green. So it's going to be really awesome to watch him attack some of these greens.
I think he might have the best nose angle control in the game.
100% agree with you.
And it's interesting to see Cale and Sexton on the same card because they have the first and second longest caching streaks in active caching streaks right now in the PDGA, and they like to talk about it. You know, Sexton was close at the Portland Open, and Cale was giving him a call like, hey, are you going to get back in? Like, you got to keep that streak going.
Mason puts his in play. Here's Kev. Same angle as the other two players, just trying to put this first one in play. No need to get too aggressive on this one.
That's amazing how forward that disc is flying while it's on that 45-degree hyzer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's his patented angle of release right there. Low penetrating destroyer right there.
It's going to get a nice forward skip. You really just want to come into the green with something slower than a fairway, ideally. There is a big slope behind this basket, but if there's anyone that can land a driver softly, it's Cale. Wow. Likely going to be a par from there. Sexton going left side with the forehand. I like this stall angle.
Wow, and it
Fantastic.
checks up on the backside of that hill. That's so hard to do.
Yeah, just kind of threw it nose up and high. Didn't really, put any hyzer angle on it. Just kind of let it run out of juice and fall into that green.
Mason Ford out of San Antonio, Texas area. Very routine-based player. Sticks to it the whole way. It's a real treat to watch him set up all his putts.
And we get to Kev. Oh, no. My. Starting the round off with a hazard.
That's really not the miss on this hole because, as you can see, there's a significant slope behind this bucket, so he's going to be putting with a ton of airspace behind the chains.
And this is a very gettable uphill 35-footer.
Oh.
Weak side.
What a beautiful view, though. I love this putt right here, even though it's scary.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the Windows background. Yeah.
It does look like the Windows
Scenic.
background.
Oh. That is a circle 4 for Kev. Great par save to start the round. Something to note. People have been talking about it. Sand bunkers have been painted now. Midway through the tournament, the sand bunkers have been painted, so it's actually a bigger area of out of bounds.
Extremely controversial to paint OB lines midway through this major.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that. Kevin's still making that par putt out of bounds. Sexton grabbing a birdie to start the round as well. That's a really, really awesome start. Moving into number 2. This is a tricky hole. 369. There's that sand bunker off to the right in front of the basket. You want to kind of see your disc bounce off the top of the hill. If it lands out of your sight, you might be skipping deep OB into the water. And I'm wondering, yeah, Sexton's going to go with the flick over the green. It's a much safer play.
I think he's going X-Cal here. There was a slight left to right that kind of helps this forehand swing. And like he's going to get this roll down the hill. He knows what he's doing.
You kind of want your backhand kind of similar to Sexton's forehand approach on the previous hole. You kind of want to throw high and flat instead of having the disc come in with a lot of pace on hyzer. Yeah, only kind of a baby hyzer from Cale.
Ooh, that's close. Is that safe?
Yeah, I think he's good.
Just
he should
past
be
the
safe.
green.
Look at this.
check up. And that's the danger. You said it. You'd rather see your disc hit the hill rather than go past it and get that flare, but checks up just before the water.
And like you said, it was a little bit more damp out there than it has been in previous days. The ground is a little wetter, a little bit softer.
These tee pads are slick too. 1, 2, and 3 are extremely slick.
Whoa.
And look how steep that is. Oh, yeah, he knew right away.
Skip off the backside of the hill, out of bounds for Kev.
It's tough footing right there.
This is for another par from Kevin. Right side miss. It's going to be a bogey. 2 out of bounds drives in a row for Kev.
Oh, yeah.
There's that Texas spin putt. That is a fantastic putt to get the birdie on hole number 2.
You know, I like to grill Nate Sexton with questions any chance that I get to speak with him. And speaking with him about a year ago about his putt, Sexton, how much time have you spent before you found the putt? And he was like, Nate, I haven't practiced my putt in 10 years.
And that's pure execution. You know, once you find something, there's
He
no need
found
to
it.
over practice it. And,
Yep.
and that's kind of the beautiful thing about golf in general is there's players that robotically practice and there's others that really need to feel it.
Hole 3, 402 feet. There's a Mando on the left, which forces the right-hand backhand player into a hyzer. Can't quite see where this bunker starts and stops. And then there's an OB green on the right. That sidewalk on the left is actually inbounds. This is a really tricky hole to park.
Yeah, you see a lot of players trying to go deep left, honestly, to give themselves an easier look that's safe. But then you chance doing something like this, and I don't know if he's safe over there or not. I do not see an OB indicator. He is likely very close to the water, laying up for a 3.
Who throws like Mason? I don't really know anybody that... Who's he like, Brian?
You know what's really interesting? His partner, Valerie Monduhano, they throw extremely similar.
They do.
Very clean, simple, almost robotic form, but they both throw very similar lines too.
The way they swing that left shoulder back and really just the upper body rotates a little bit more exaggerated than I see some other players rotate.
What a kick for Cale. That is going to be a stroke saver for him. That was an aggressive skip. He is happy about that one. Kevin going low. That's got to stay out of that bunker. Okay.
What a shot. I think that was a fairway. He flipped that up like a fairway. He loves those F5s.
And Kevin just giving himself some work to start this round. Oh my goodness. Just, he's one of the players
Gatekeeper
changing the game right now.
Truly. You have to make it from that distance if you want to keep up, especially at a major.
A little bit low for Nate.
Did he say Y or fly?
Why fly? And a
Yes.
great par save for Mason. Yeah, you know, it used to be common knowledge that if you made all your Circle 1 putts, you could win almost any tournament. And while that still is the case, the top level right now, Circle 2 is a new frontier that's being explored and kind of solved by players like Kev. Yikes.
Ooh, from that angle, that was in that lower left pocket, and that's usually a pretty sweet spot.
Yeah, it's a coin toss that he lost. He definitely lost a coin toss there. It was a little low left, but it was a very fortunate kick for him. He will be taking a third par in a row, moving into number 4. 453-foot water carry. The righties are fading with the angle of the water, so it's a very tricky shot for the right-handed player. If you're going for the birdie, it is full commitment.
D2 from Kevin.
Again, 45 degrees of hyzer there. And it's flipping up slowly.
Go. Yes.
Look at that.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
I watched him throw the same shot in round 1. Just absolutely picture perfect. And is Nate going sidearm?
He's going for this one,
Okay.
Brian. He's not known for throwing far, but the man can rip it up to 500 feet.
He doesn't like it, but it's low enough to maybe skip off the water, and
Oh,
it
no.
stays, and that is going to be an out of bounds.
Straight to the drop zone as well.
Yeah, pretty much an automatic bogey from the drop zone.
Yeah, look at that. That left shoulder just gets way back.
Go. 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 Yes, sir. Nice shot.
Oh, outdoing Kevin. That is 5 feet from the basket. Perfect hyzer, 453. Not ever getting back up to flat.
Cale playing extremely conservative. Wow.
Cale is a tactician.
Yeah.
He definitely stays within his own game plan. His
Look at
aggression
that.
comes out at different times.
That is a simple putter shot, but it's so pretty. He just stays so loose, the way that he bounces before he throws, and he just gets that nose angle and just truly spins the disc.
Speaking of spin the disc, our pro dart from Nate from the drop zone. That's going to be a drop in 4.
Yeah, we saw him jam one of those darts in yesterday at the fort.
Easy birdie for Kev. He is finally under par. Yeah, Cale knows where he can attack out here. He does not need to take any bogey strokes early. And a tap-in birdie for Mason. 2 under through 4.
The Firebird has changed my life. I think that without the commitment shown to me from Innova to make this disc in 2015, I would never have made the leap to take my game to a level where I can call myself a US champion, a top 10 player in the world. In my mind, the Firebird is the greatest disc ever made.
All right, here we are, hole 5, 696. This fairway kind of slopes from right to left down toward the water. Drivers get a little touchy on this one. There is a hazard on the right that prevents you from just completely turning it over. Really, the difficulty with this one is getting the speed control as you approach the pin.
Yeah, and as you can see, Kevin is just simply opting to throw a forehand. It's not a very long par 4. You just want to put one in play to throw whatever your bread and butter is. And I'm guessing, speaking of bread and butter, we're going to see some sort of smooth hyzer flip from him. Oh. Looky, looky.
Last minute movement right there from Mason.
Let's actually jump back to Mason's form. I do want to show people and highlight his mechanics. So balanced. definitely uncoils around the disc. You know exactly what he's going to do as he's taking the approach. And then the balance on his follow through is so clean. That shows he's not throwing too hard, relying on the angle and the equipment to throw the disc. And Cale, on the other hand,
Well, that's flipped up a little too much. Needs to slow down, and it does. And right side, the further right, the further you are away from the basket. So he probably still has 350 into a basket with water only 20 feet behind it.
Nate also going KJ's route. Simple forehand. And they're only going to have, 250 to 300 to the basket. Kevin going high flick, and he doesn't like it at all. Did not commit to putting it out over the water.
Yeah, it's a scary shot to throw it
Yeah.
straight at the water. That's a typical spot to land from the distance that he was approaching from.
Wide hyzer. Just inside circle one. It's really not that much of a death putt, honestly. There's still some space behind this basket.
Yeah, it's not a fast green. Oh, that needs some help. A bit of a misfire, I would say,
Yeah.
to leave it that short. We were talking about Sexton today, and we think that one of his superpowers are his calves. We think that that's why
Springy.
can do what he does.
Yeah,
Have you seen his
maybe.
calves?
I have seen him exist in shorts.
They're
I
serious,
did
though.
not know that they were a superpower of his.
I think
but
they are, and he's patented the Sexton hop, and we've seen a couple players now adopt the Sexton hop. Like one of Sexton's prodigies, Thomas Gilbert, and we got to see Thomas display that Sexton hop forehand yesterday at Mulligans.
Real quick, did we just see Mason grabbing his bicep?
Yeah, he was grimacing.
I
in
hope
pain.
that wasn't any sort of tear. Bicep injuries in disc golf are some of the worst ones out there. Hoping he can tough it out through this round. And Nate is going to tap in a birdie. I suppose his calves may have played a part. Talented individual, I will say that. And Mason's going to tap in a par as well. And we will move on to hole number 6. Hoping for the best for Mason. That is not good. Hole 6, 261-foot island shot. This is the most straightforward hole in the course, given that the wind does not pick up. I can see Sexton going for a pretty simple chip forehand around the tree.
Yeah, just around that tree. As you said, very straightforward. Almost a par 2.
Yep, that's about exactly what I thought he was going to do on this one. Just pretty foolproof when you go left side. The hill is sloping to the left, so you can just use it as a backstop. Kept going also with the sidearm.
Yeah, A3.
Yeah, these are just lawn darts they're coming in with.
This one is definitely wind dependent. If it gets windy, you expose the angle too much. The out of bounds, the inbounds is only as large as the circle.
Yeah.
So it is a small island.
Also looking good from Mason. Actually looking really good from Mason. Park job. It's going to be should be a tap-in birdie for him. Cale going with a putter.
Yeah, P Model S.
P Model S, very
Ooh, that needs to
underrated
go,
disc.
Brian.
And he makes
Oh,
it.
is that in?
I believe he is
Wow,
safe. He's going to
just
get a
in
meter.
bounds. Oh, there we go. He's on the
Solid
board
putt.
now. That's his first birdie of the round.
Yeah, 5 pars in a row, and now he picks the birdie up on hole 6. Kevin as well. If you are taking a par on this hole, it feels like a bogey. A 2.65 average on the day.
Could it ever be possible to have a par 2? No.
Only in miniature golf, Nate.
Hole 7, 546, quite the opposite of our last hole. This is the single hardest hole on the course. It's every bit of 546 as well. This is a smash. You have to clear 300 feet of water first. There's a hazard on the right and an OB green right at that like 470 range, which some of these right-hand, backhand players tend to find. Sexton going real conservative here.
Yeah, he knows he doesn't want to have to chance going out of bounds on this one. He knows that the field is not all toing this one.
Here we go. Flippy D2. Come on. He doesn't like it.
It's drifting nicely,
It's flipping up
actually.
too much.
Is he going to go deep?
Oh, that's over the fence.
Ugh. Wow. That is so far to get that disc over the fence. Straight on from the tee pad. That was
Yeah.
not the miss I was expecting.
Oh, and that just came out of Mason's hand. And it's safe. Wow.
You wonder...
If his
You wonder
arm,
if he's
I mean, it's his
hurting.
throwing arm, right, that he was holding after he putt? Yeah.
Bicep injuries are scary.
Cale also playing conservative here. You're not losing strokes with a 3 on hole 7.
No. You know, if you're looking at the UDIS stats, you're actually gaining almost a half a stroke by taking a 3. And there's Cale just playing catch. P Model S under the basket. You know, there's a lot of people who have players in their region who are huge thumber throwers, that there are tons of stories about a legend about this particular hole with J.C. Kester from Colorado. I watched him put a machete thumber pin high on this hole, 546.
This year?
No, it was a couple of years ago.
At
One of
the
the most
Utah Open?
miraculous disc golf shots I've ever seen in my life.
That guy has some legendary stories about him.
Yeah, if you've not watched him on footage, go check out J.C. Kester if you're a fan of the thumber.
Thank you.
And a bogey from Kev and 3 pars moving in number 8.
When the PDGA National Tour rolls into town, the action is intense and the competition fire. But every inferno, no matter the size, must begin as a spark. With PDGA sanctioned leagues and tournaments, anyone can get in the game. Fuel your fire. Find an event near you at pdga.com.
Number 8, 375, treacherous par 3 on the mound.
It's a great word for this hole.
Yeah, with the blind bunker in front of it too. It is a full commitment shot.
It's one of those that you really do just send it, and you hope you don't get in that little tiny 5x5 bunker on the front side, or skip onto the back side and find that deep bunker. Really hard to park, but you want to park it because it's so elevated that you
Oh, no.
come on back. There is water deep and left. I think he's safe, though.
He did get
Yeah.
the safe green flag. I'm not sure how far he is from the basket, but that really looked like a shank from Nate. He yanked that one sideways, but
You really don't see the left miss from him too
Not
often.
really.
He's a flat to hyzer and keeps it that way, but
Mason putting a pretty good move on this. He's going to go backside.
that's a hard putt to run.
Yeah, especially with the blind bunker. You still don't see it, but it's tempting, that's for sure. Big hyzer from Cale.
No.
Straight into the hazard. That's where most of the nice-looking hyzers tend to land.
I agree, and it's so tiny.
Yeah.
I love this shot. Right around this tree.
Didn't
That is
get
so
a
beautiful.
huge skip, but yeah, he is going to be putting from, looks like about circle's edge. Oh,
Mason.
let's go, Mason.
Just drops
That
it
was
in
a
there.
40-foot uphill putt. He has come to play, folks.
Wow, Kev was close with that flick. It's a big shot. It's
a great
375,
play.
but the way he drew it around that tree, probably closer to a 400-foot flat forehand shot. Very impressive.
Right side for Cale.
Don't see that very often. Cale is one of the more efficient Circle 1 putters in the last decade.
You know, with the footing in the sand, uphill, World Championships, anything can happen out here. Kind of a slow start for Cale, but lots of golf left.
Definitely slow. Hole 9, most wide open fairway here at Mulligans. 800 feet, so not too terribly long. Players get to open up. There is out of bounds right.
Pretty straightforward, to be honest. This is the biggest fairway on the course. And Mason has ripped that with some hyzer. And it's going left.
Left side plays, though. You get to...
Definitely.
He's going to throw a forehand into the green. Red one. Yeah.
Yeah, he should. With that hyzer flip he threw on 7, he should throw that exact line right here.
I just love watching him. He's one of the players that it really looks like he's throwing. Look how late it's flipping up. And Brian, tell me if you know what I mean here. It really looks like Kev is actually throwing the disc. Some players, it looks like they're ripping it across their body and then letting it go, but Kev actually looks like he's throwing it.
He gets it way out in front of his body, that's for sure.
Oh, and that is early out of Nate's hand.
He's going to be safe, and actually he'll probably have a forehand from the left side. He probably was playing to be left. And Cale going with a big smash here off to the right. And we're going to take a look at Cale's form. Very unique. He's been doing this same type of throw for as long as I can remember. One of the players whose form really hasn't changed much. And it's been so intuitive for so long.
He really gets his weight moving, though. I noticed that he's really leaning forward toward the front.
And he does get a fortunate roll.
Nate's just always chilling out on the disc golf course, having a good time. It's a good roll. Might be 35.
It's actually phenomenal how he's able to compartmentalize commentating for Jomez and competing at the level that he's been able to compete at for so long. It is not an easy job in the sports world to switch back and forth from creator and entertainer to competitor. So yeah, lots of
talked
respect.
about that, actually, how it affects him, talking about other players and how good they are, how good their shots are, and Yeah, he's definitely spoken about that.
Kevin does not like it, but again, he's going to be right outside circle one. He is going to have a look at it, and here is the R Pro dart.
Kevin is still shaking his head at his shot. Just can't believe it. Going yes on the dart right here. Wow, and it was around the tree too. Slide hyzer.
A good utility to have. Pay attention, folks. Having that type of just playing catch.
The GG
putt.
Sonic.
Yeah,
The Sexton
exactly.
dart. Do you have a disc like that?
I do. I throw a rattler for that exact same reason. And it's just like playing catch, and it gets you out of a lot of tricky situations.
It's like the Conrad Old Greenie. Rest in peace, Old Greenie. What's going to be the MVP, Old Greenie?
It's going to take about 20 years for that. Cale capitalizes on the birdie, and here's Mason.
Look at the pace control on that.
Yeah,
Just
again,
nestling it in there from 18 feet.
anytime you watch something go low left side and stick, it's because they've released it with a great speed. Kevin's going to take a par.
That's the frustrating part.
Definitely. And there you have it, folks. That is the front nine for round 3 here. Mason Ford. Very solid front nine. 5 down, clean, no bogeys. He is putting fantastic.
And Emerson Keith, 5 down on the front, maintaining a 2-stroke lead. This
He
is
loves-
the chase card at Worlds, Brian. This is starting to get more exciting.
There are a lot of players shooting hot right now, and we have no idea what's going to happen. We will catch you on the back nine. Make sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper Media. Again, I'm Brian Earhart. He's Nate Perkins. We are signing off, and we will see you next time.